If you woke up tomorrow with no money, no network, and no reputation, just your mind and body, what would be the first move you'd make to rebuild your kingdom? Interestingly, my kingdom was based on all of the lessons and all of the life I lived when I had no money, no network, and no reputation. It's kind of interesting. We're talking about me being reverted to a prior state of hindrance, but it's that prior state and the life I lived and all the lessons I learned and the fact that I crawled out of there that taught me any of the things I talk about today. I don't talk about, in fact, sometimes, but I don't often talk about what I learned once I became monumentally famous and successful and life was easy. I talk about how life has always been hard, life has always been pain, how I had to struggle to get out. I tell the story of my escape from the Matrix, much more than I talk about sitting around and how great it is to spend money on watches. And it's actually the journey that gives anything value. We all know this. If somebody's born rich, guys, there are people out there that exist who hit a lottery to a degree, who are born, they're 6'8". Barron Trump is a perfect example, but he's luckily in a dynasty family. But let's imagine he wasn't. Let's imagine he was in a rich family that was relatively unknown. If you're born 6'7", do you need to go gym? A bit, but you're already big. You're born a millionaire. Do you need to work and make money? Not really. You have money. But does that person have interesting stories to tell you? Does that person inspire you? Can that person sit down and motivate you? It's not the destination with these things. It's the journey with these things. We all already know this. So if I was regressed, I would be annoyed because I'm human. And as a human, I only have a finite amount of human years. And I would hate to have to waste human years redoing work I have previously done to relearn lessons I already know. But the fact I already know those lessons would accelerate the process. I wouldn't be down in that negative place for long because I already know all I need to know to get out. And I'm going to answer the question shortly. My point is, the best possible start for a man, the best possible beginning you can hope to have is that exact scenario you've just outlined. To have no money, no network, and no reputation. That's where you want to start. Because then, as you escape, you learn things. And then your status and your money that you get at the top can amplify the things you learn and the person you became on your way to the top. I've said this many times, and I have to reiterate it. It's extremely important because crypto highlights it. Money does not change who you are. Status does not change who you are. Fame does not change who you are. None of these things change who you are. It amplifies who you are. If you're a pussy and you get rich, you're just a big rich pussy. You're just a target. If you're a dork and you get rich, you're just a rich dork. If you're a real G, you're a real G with and without money. And if you get money, you're a bigger G. It is an amplifier. So by extension, if I were to say to you, I'll send you $10 million today, but you haven't learned the lessons you need to learn, you're not the person you need to be, that's going to prepare you to be globally renowned or globally respected because of the fact that you've had such a difficult life. Why would taking that bank transfer would almost be self-destructive? It would be against your actual interest, your personal interest, because your personal interest is to live enough life and have enough things about you that makes the amplification beneficial as opposed to making the amplification detrimental. Crypto kids catch a lick and their life is ruined because now they're never going to work. They're never going to train. They're never going to struggle. And they're just a kid with money. They're going to buy an AP. They're going to buy a Bentley or a fucking Lambo. That's great. Who cares? Nobody. Do girls care? No. Do you care? No. Do I care? No. They're just a rich dork now. They're just a robbery target. And they're going through life wondering what the point of life is. They made it out. Well, not really. Because to make it out, you have to have a certain mentality about yourself. If any of them are forced to go through what I've been through, you're going to see how quickly they haven't learned anything about being a man on their path to wealth. So if I woke up tomorrow with no money, no network, and no reputation, considering I've already done all this before and I don't really need any new stories, I wouldn't be looking to learn very much. I'd be looking to implement the things I already knew. All of these things are a constant and never-ending progression anyway. Your money is something you work on every day. Your network is something you work on every day. Your reputation is something you work on every day. So would my day be any different? Would I be doing much differently than I'm currently doing? None of these things just exist. These things must be maintained. You don't start a company and then stop working. No, you start a company and work on that company to keep your money coming in. So I would have less results at the end of the day. Perhaps I would feel less achieved at the end of the day because I'd be starting from zero. However, my day would be filled with pretty much the same things that it's currently filled with, which is trying to get some money, speaking to the right people, and trying to be as strong as physically possible, and trying to build a reputation of competence and capability, which is what I'm already doing. You say you just have your mind and body. That's all I have now. Okay, I have some money in the bank and I have a network and I have a reputation, but I don't add all of them up before I start. I don't sit and say, I have $110 million because of the Bitcoin price. I don't need to work today. No, I think I need to make some money today. It doesn't matter how much money I already have. It matters how much money I want to make. So I don't think my life would look much differently. The first move I'd make to rebuild my kingdom are the same moves I'm doing to maintain my kingdom. I'm trying to imagine if I lost it all tomorrow, would my life look any different? No, I might wake up somewhere different. But I'd train, because I train every single day, because it's extremely important. I would do my best to find other competent people, which I'm already currently doing and searching for right now. I'm always looking for the best people I can find to have around me permanently. And I try and find some money, which I'm currently doing right now. For me to answer more in detail of how I would find money, how I would find network, etc., that all depends. Am I still in Romania? Have I moved? Is it right now? How old am I? Etc. But the basic premise is that life, irregardless of your standing, irregardless of where you are, should only ever be a constant and endless pursuit for ascension. You should be insatiable. You shouldn't be the kind of person who can be satisfied. You know, the Matrix tries very hard to convince men you should be happy with what you've got. Be more grateful. No, that's for chicks. Chicks are grateful. Women have a coffee and they sit outside and they look at the sunshine and they're grateful. Good. Because you don't want an overly ambitious woman because she ends up on her back with a man richer than you. So you don't want that. That's the female mind. The masculine mind is constant insatiability. No matter how many lands Napoleon conquered, he had to keep going to war. Even though he suffered. He could have just been the emperor. Could have sat around, ate grapes, fought bitches, and had an empire. No, he wanted more and more and more to the point it destroyed him. When should he have stopped? Well, if he was the kind of person who knew how to stop, he would never have had an empire in the first place. So he doesn't know how to stop. Nobody who ever gets to the top knows how to stop. All we ever know is wanting more. I have never, despite all of the cars, the jets, the whatever, I've never felt rich. I don't feel rich. I feel like, okay, I can afford my bills now. And I thank God I have the times I was poor so I can juxtapose my current life with my old life. If I wasn't capable of sitting with Tristan and talking about how broke I used to be, I really wouldn't feel rich. At least now I could sit around and talk about the time where we couldn't buy hot sauce because it was money for no calories and flavor and taste wasn't on the menu of things we needed. We needed calories for our pound coins. So thank God I have those times. But I don't wake up and feel rich now. Girls say to me, you can buy anything you want, you're rich. I'm like, I'm not rich. Like, why not? You can buy anything you want. Yeah, but I don't feel rich. I need more. I want more. And the bottom line to insatiability, truthfully, is that you should want it so other people can't have it. Because that's the value in it. If you give everybody a bar of gold, then gold has no value. If you get a bar of gold, no one else has any, then they want your gold. So it's actually the thinking to understand is there's $1 million out there somewhere. If you don't make it, it's not going to sit. It's not going to go down a drain. It's not going to be set on fire. If you don't make it, someone else is going to make it. So even more than having it yourself, you should want others to not have it. I don't want them to win. It's not about me winning anymore. I don't want them to win. It's different if they're your friends or they're your brothers or it's war room. Of course, we're team players. But my team has to win. I don't want others to do well. Call me petty. But I think it's pretty natural inside of the masculine condition. No, it's all for me and my guys. All of it. So if I woke up tomorrow with nothing, I'd be doing the exact same things I'm currently doing. Where I'd start, how I'd do it, as long as I still had Tristan and I know what I know now, I have a strong suspicion it wouldn't be very long before I'm back exactly where I've started from.
I don't know where you're watching this video, but it might not be around forever. The Matrix may take it down. However, up here, there's a link to my Telegram channel. Please click it. All the daily Tate content is going to be posted there, and that channel isn't going anywhere.